Welcome to the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This is Kyla Ganton, and here's the seafood news for the week of November 13th, 2017. Warming water conditions continue to have strong effects on salmon returns, cod breeding, Jordani shrimp, as mentioned in last week's episode, and also squid. We will further discuss squid later, but first we spoke to Roger Griffis recently, a marine ecologist with NOAA Fisheries, about the way climate change can affect salmon stocks.
So the salmon stocks on the West Coast are affected by changing climate in really two ways. Because one is when they're up in the rivers trying to lay their eggs, and when the juveniles are coming down the rivers trying to make it to the ocean. At that time, they're very vulnerable to drought conditions, warming air that warms the water. They're very sensitive to warm water, and they can be killed quite quickly. So they're affected by climate-driven heat waves and droughts on the land, affecting the rivers. But then they're also affected by climate-driven changes in the ocean system that may affect whether or not there's any food once they even get to the ocean, based on if it's an El Nino year or other kinds of things.
Several years ago, El Nino affected the California squid species and devastated many plants in California. Market squid, as it's called in the California fishery, is open year-round from April 1st to March 31st. The quota used to be set at 125,000 short tons every year, but was lowered in 2005 to 118,000 short tons. Yearly landings are just fractions of this harvest limit the past 2 years. Currently, only 26.7 short tons have been caught to date this year, which is actually down from last year's count, this time at 30.7 short tons. We spoke with several environmental scientists at the Department of Fish and Wildlife in California who described lower landings due to El Nino conditions with a recovery phase after a La Nina phase. Climate change and seasonality of climate conditions are imperative to the viability of many stocks along our west coast. The commercial fisheries are many people's livelihood, placing the utmost importance on fisheries management, explains Roger Griffis.
Fisheries in this country, commercial fisheries in this country, sustain over $200 billion in economic activity, 1.7 million jobs every year. So there is a lot at risk in this time of changing climate and changing oceans.
Just last week, NOAA's Climate Prediction Center reported the return of La Nina to the northern hemisphere this year, which should naturally cool the Pacific. However, NOAA expects this year's La Nina phase to be just as weak as last year, which only stuck around between November and February. The gradual warming of El Nino and brevity of La Nina continues to pressure our fisheries, leading us to believe these examples of salmon stocks and California squid stocks as precursors of what to expect in the near future for other fisheries. Seafood buyers may find themselves seeking substitutes from other species or even from aquaculture. To wrap things up, our Tradex Live offer of the week is for 7 to 9 count whole round squid. This is block frozen, packed 6 by 5 pounds, and available for $2.25 per pound, FOB Watsonville, California. Click or tap the icon above to view this offer. Thank you for joining me for the Tradex Foods 3-Minute Market Insight. This is Kyla Ganton. Buy smart and eat more seafood.